Good afternoon, everybody. Look at my holiday stuff. Uh, so excited. I love this time of the year. It's so festive, and people, are just generally in a better mood than any other time of the year. So it's just a blessing to, come into this season. I'm excited about it. Let's see where y'all from. Come on in, check in, because I want to talk about what my comments at. Okay, let's see who's gonna come in and let me know where y'all from. Okay, you see that? Look at that. Got me a black Santa Claus. Okay, and a tree, and I got a white one too. Okay, I don't discriminate up in this crib. Okay, all right. I got a black one over here and a white one over there. I switch up every week. Started off with the little black one, my brother, and then I'm gonna come up there with my other brother. So anyway, so check this out. For those of you who live in Michigan, we recently saw that Michigan went blue and that for the very first time, the Democrats have taken over the House. Now, my question is, well, I think that in part, my belief is that many of the reason is that because you had the right to life issue that was on there, that many people just, voted for Democrats. But let me say this to you. We recently saw in the news that Facebook has laid off 11,000 people. 11,000, okay? Um, Twitter has laid off a sizable amount of people in its workforce. And we see across the board many companies laying people off. We're about to go into recession. I'm with y'all, the ladies, I love them, they pretty and stuff. But my question is going to be coming into this year, into your next season, what are we going to do to spur this economy in Michigan? I understand we protected the right to life. That's okay. All right. For however y'all feel that issue was done. How are we going to get jobs? How do we get people? And let me tell you what we discussed last week, and I'm going to keep pushing it. We need to ban marijuana testing. People need jobs. And the fact of the matter is that marijuana is legal. All of that, it's a gateway drug, it's a this, so is liquor. Okay? We need to get these able-bodied people, men and women, across the board working again. We need to ban the box. Okay? We need to do that. We have decriminalized it. The federal government is in fact releasing many individuals who are incarcerated for minor marijuana. So if everybody is looking like, okay, it's not that bad, why is it that the city, state, and county now are saying you got to be drug tested to get a job? Now, let me just say this to you. I have voted Democrat all my life, okay? And I did this time because there was some issues. But I'm going to be honest with you. If this economy continues to going, I cannot support present leadership. I'm not one of them people, I'm going to die blue. If you are not for me and my agenda, i.e. getting more people employed, spurring this economy, taking care of our needs before we go out taking care of other needs, you can't have my vote. And I will recruit those that will listen to me, because time out for people coming in, getting $1.50, that's their salary, and not doing nothing and sitting on the fence while good men and women, good Americans, you know what I'm saying, who smoke weed can't get a damn job. I am sick of it. And I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, I, I am vowing if this economy continues the way it does, I cannot support Biden. I cannot do it. Now I can't support no fool like nobody like no Herschel Walker either. Now I'm not gonna be just blind to giving my vote away. But we are in a recession. And people, we in one. And I want to see what they gonna do. Oh, we got auto reform. I got back $700. Now they went up $400. So that's the shell game. So take from one hand to the other. Forget that. And I'm gonna tell you this: people are sick and tired of people coming in getting a $100,000-$200,000 jobs. They good jobs, but the rest of America, we suffering. We are suffering. And that's wrong. And time again, I see good people who can do jobs that may have a problem with marijuana. And what they do, oh, you can't get no job. They give up, okay? They, may commit crime. Okay, then some of the men be preying on women and trying to hit a lick, and the women be preying on old men. Okay, we know that. These are people who want to work. And you're criminalizing them. I mean, not criminalizing, but you're punishing them because they are upset because they doing illegal drugs. Ain't nobody saying that they coming to work smoking no bud. I'm not talking about that. But I'm saying to you that there's a way that you can actually do these drug testing, okay, where it'll go back a month. So what are you doing? So here we got the holiday. People can't take care of their family, okay? All right, because of this. So I want to see what y'all gonna do. But if it's business as usual, let me say this to you. I promise you. Let me say this to you. And them people that will listen to me, and it might be 5. It might just be 5 in the world, okay? Me, my foe, and no more. But let me say this to you. I am not giving my vote to no Democrats, and they ain't gonna do nothing. That's it. I'm sick of it. I am sick of it. Now, I'm going to say this. I did not agree with the overtaking of the Capitol. That just went way too far, okay? But let's be honest about this. Trump did something that Obama didn't do, and that was to free many people in federal prison that were serving sentences irrespective of, normally what they do is they let people go politically. You know what I'm saying? Mayors, senators. This man did it across the board. Black people in general. And he wasn't afraid to do it. Now, so that's why you're going to vote for Republican because he let people go. I'm going to vote Republican because I believe that at least that party got a little more to them, a little more backbone. Time and time again, these were individuals that had requested relief from Obama. And then here you go, Trump, who is conservative, he let him go. But the black man don't. Well, let me tell you something. I am sick of this, but this economy, this is outrageous. You can't even go to the grocery store and buy hamburger $5. When the hell has hamburger been $5 for the little pack? $5? That's ridiculous. And like I said, all of this, I'm going to be blue till I die. Well, let me tell you something. You crazy. I don't forget party loyalty. What are you going to do for the electorate? What are you going to do for those people who are out of jobs because, maybe they have a substance problem? What are you going to do for them? What are you going to do? The fact that I might have smoked weed last month and it come up. Hell, It's people that's salary that's working for the dang on state and county, smoking weed every day, going to work. Okay? But once you get in, you in. But this is ridiculous. And like I said, I would go downtown Detroit. I don't see all of the workers that's getting them $25, $30 hour jobs, building stuff. Ain't none of them black. Oh, they can't pass the drug test. But if you test them today, they wouldn't pass the liquor test. I'm tired of people being selective in leadership about who they want to help. Well, what we do, we just give some black judges. That's nice. But what about people, everyday people? That's nice on the judge thing. I will say commend the governor for appointing black people that qualify lawyers to the judiciary. Okay, that's fine. But what about everyday people? What about people that don't go before a judge but need a damn job? What about them? We always talk about right now, cars are on back order 2 months. They need to make the little chip. Get people to train them to make that damn chip. We make everything else. But we need to be more proactive in what we are trying to do. I understand the issue with the right to choose is on the back. Okay, that's fine. What are we doing for people who not pregnant? What are we doing for people who want to be employed? Well, we better be seeing something, because I'm going to tell you, if we don't, and it continues to go this way, I have no choice but to vote Republican. And I will not be apologized for it, because this social agenda, help everybody in need, that we see under Biden, it's not working. It's not working when you have 11,000 people laid off from Meta, which is Facebook. 11,000. Okay? We need, baby, listen, we got to have a different dialogue. We got to have a different dialogue. And let me say this to you. But what have you done for me lately? That's my question. And if all you done for me lately is where everybody got their little blue outfits on, go blue, to hell with that. What about the people that you represent? They need jobs, and they need them now. I'm on fire.
Attention. Do you owe back by the penalties to the IRS? The IRS offers newly filed for tax affected by COVID-19.
Times are tight financially, and you deserve an experience off rates and low monthly payments to fight for you. If you've been charged with a crime, want a divorce, or need help with probate, call us today. Denied insurance or seriously injured in a car accident? Law, experienced attorneys, affordable justice. All right, let's see. Okay, now I can't wait to talk about this one. Let's see what they saying. I guess my too. Now let me come and bring my skill for you. Criminal or we do everything. You can come and work for you. 1833 Vonda Law. I put on for my city. Now let me come and work for you. Oh. All right. So anyway, let me tell you what else I'm doing. You know what I've heard, I've listened to you, and I'm gonna made some changes. So many people have been telling me, listen, we need help with our license. We need restricted license. I have partnered with some attorneys who specialize in getting restricted license, who specialize in being able to get your license restored, who also, wait a minute, can get rid of a lot of those tickets that you have. Okay. We need to be, in order, we're talking about getting good jobs again. How are we going to get good jobs if our license is messed up? And that's the first thing that people are going to look at. So I have an excellent lawyer that I have affiliated with who does register restricted license restoration, as well as, putting together tickets so that we can the stream. Here we go. Because, we die hard. It's almost as if, follow along. I want you to think about this, right? It's almost as if there's a belief that if you're Black and you vote Republican, you a sellout. You're not for the Black people if you vote Republican. Okay, so what are the Democrats doing right now as far as creating more jobs? What are we really doing? What do we see? Obviously, as I've indicated, we're giving away a ton of money across the board to different countries. What about us? We are right now, the unemployment level is high as I don't know what. What are we doing to help us? I got what we doing, to help other people. But you know what? This is my belief. I can't help nobody else until I help me. Because that is the only way that I can continue to bless other people, is if I help myself as well. But we're not doing that. And I'm tired of people, this narrative, well, you are a sellout if you vote Republican. No, I'm a sellout if I support politicians who don't care about the people who I care about. And those are people who need to be working, people who are not elected officials, but everyday people. Those are people I'm concerned about. So I'm not no sellout. Okay, I'm a rider, but I'm not riding for somebody that ain't doing nothing. And all I'm riding with you is so that you can get a paycheck. Oh, I'm not riding with you. I'm saying, excuse me, I want to get off right here. And I do not believe that we are compromising our integrity if we decide to say, you know what, we can't go to the Democratic Party anymore. I have not seen, oh, it's going to get better. When? And one day I will get my Social Security, but it ain't today. So we gonna just wait it out. Ain't nobody got time. So if this is what I want to know, we're waiting for what? Huh? A miracle? The Bible say faith without works is dead. So what are we waiting for? We need to have progressive legislation in place to protect Americans, to get them back working, to stop this dependence overseas, to start building those little chips. We need to do that. I mean, but all of this is going to get better when? How does it, just like you go to bed and you wake up, it's gone? That's ridiculous. And it's silly. It's not going to go away. We got to ride it out. No, we can't immediately stop it, but by putting in place legislation that says if a person, you can't test for marijuana if it's legal in that state. You can't test for it. We already say ban the box if you're a convicted felon. You can't do that. We need to get people to work. And I ain't talking about the state reps and the state senators and the governor and the attorney general and the secretary of state. They got a job. But they're good people who want to work. And you know, I'm obviously, you know, I'm not just saying black people in a whole, but what I am saying is that there are good people who need to be employed. Okay? But we need to do something about that. I like I said, it's getting too much for me. But y'all, you know, go blue, go blue. And what blue doing for you? Nothing. Okay. But I bet you they got a big old Merry Christmas tree. I bet you they gonna be eating good. And then what is it that? Oh, you're gonna get more money on your bridge card. Don't nobody want a damn handout. People want to work. Don't nobody just want a handout. So I don't know where people are getting that idea from. Oh, they just give them a couple extra dollars out here. You know, that's good enough. And we're going to do it right before the election so they can vote for us. The hell with that. People need jobs and they're being discriminated against because they cannot pass this damn drug test. Okay? All right, Karen. We got Karen on the line.
Yes. Good afternoon, Attorney Vonda. And I need your help with two questions. I agree with you 100%, especially about the jobs. It's really sad. My confusion, I guess, is now within 3 more years, I will have been voting for 50 years. Okay, so usually I do vote Democratic, but I hear very well what you're saying. So my question is, when the Democrats, they're not doing anything for us, and, you know, that upsets me. But then when you do think about the Republicans, you know, of course, they have their shortcomings as well. You know, I mean, I got to think back to George Bush. We had a recession under him back in 2007 and 8, you know, and a lot of jobs were gone. So what is a person to do when both parties have issues? That's my first question.
And this is what I say. The Republicans are going to have to put in place leaders that have answers. See, remember, this is what happened. Follow along. And I'm a go there. People didn't want to vote for Barack, but they knew he was smart. And they knew that we were in a situation, okay, financially. See, baby, let me tell you something, and I'm going to keep it 100. People don't care about, rich people don't care about black or white. They care about green. And when they were able to listen to what Barack was saying, because he was innovative, intelligent, well-skilled, very knowledgeable, they gave him a chance. I remember going in areas that are exclusively Republican, seeing Obama signs out. Why? Because these people did not want to lose the way of life that they were living. That's what they were concerned about. I was like, I know I'm in deep Oakland County. Okay. And I'm seeing Obama signs. So what I'm saying to you is, I believe that the Republicans are going to have to put together leaders that are smart, that are knowledgeable, and be willing to put them to the forefront. And if they're willing to do that, I think that there's a real consideration about Black people actually going to the Republican Party. I mean, like a person like a Mitt Romney, okay? I mean, Mitt is very intelligent. I would support Mitt in a second. And there are other people in the Republican Party that are very, very knowledgeable. Now, I'm gonna be honest.
Don't have a Mitt,
No.
We're talking about Trump and DeSantis.
No. What we're talking about is this. I think that's the attention grabber. But in the reality of it, I do believe that that the Republican Party is potentially vetting other people that will be just as qualified. I don't think that I think these are news grabbers. I don't know if, in fact, these are the actual people that they would, in fact, support. But let me just say this, why people support Trump. Why people are looking at DeSantis. Because they're not afraid to take on big issues. And see, what it is with the Democrats, they want to be politically correct. Well, if I let this person go or that person go and they Black and I'm Black, that's not politically correct. So they're afraid. The reason that people are successful in business is because they are not afraid to take a risk and to take a chance and to be able to look at it. Like, what did Facebook say? Listen, I take 100% responsibility, but in order for me to take my business to the next level, I have to cut these people. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it, but we have to do it. The Republican.
Okay, one more question.
Wait a minute. When the Democrats, on the other hand, would have left them 11,000 people and sink the whole ship. You can't do that. You got to make cutting edge decisions that will be able to save a business when you are in a recessionary period. And I don't believe that many Democrats have the backbone to do that, because what they want to do, they want to be liked. I don't care about being liked. Respect me. Listen, you can hate me, but if I can help this country to rebound, I did my job. See you. I don't want to be liked. And that is their problem. They want people to like them. The hell with liking me. Listen, okay, look, I don't give a damn that Gretchen wearing buffs. I want to know, what are you going to do to potentially help reduce the number of Black people, white people that are not employed and facing a recession? The hell with some damn buffs.
Right.
Stay on the line. Wait a minute. We got to go.
Why is meat $5 a pack? And why are people losing jobs? What is it that the Democrats are doing that's making all this go up?
Karen, we got to go to we have to go to a commercial. Could you hang on for me?
Sure will.
All right. Thank you.
The Word Network has some broadcast.
So anyway, as I was saying, one of the things that people look at when they want to employ you is, do you have a valid license? Well, if you don't have a valid license and you're smoking weed, you messed up. You're not getting a job. So what I have done is to start to affiliate myself with a couple lawyers who have excellent abilities to put together a group of tickets, to get to negotiate a low settlement, that are very knowledgeable in doing restricted and licensed restoration at a reasonable price. So I'm happy to say and announce that that's going to be a part of my firm. For a while, I wasn't able to do it because I couldn't find somebody that was that skilled. Well, now I have them, and I'm super excited about it. So anyway, if you or somebody that you know has a problem with your license and you need to get it clean so we can get these jobs, give me a call at 1-833-866-3252, and we'll be able to help you. But I'm just so excited. And, you ready? Listen, I have been doing some work. and I've been listening to you. And one of the things that people have been saying, you don't do Social Security, you don't do veterans. Well, I got somebody doing that, and my S Social Security person, veterans, has not lost one case. One case, not lost one. Prepared, skilled. I said, I can't believe this. Not one, not one. And so for those individuals who have been denied Social Security benefits as well as veterans benefits, you need to give me a call. Starting in January, I will be offering this service. I am super excited about it. Right now, if there are not a lot of people who understand how to cut through that red tape, how to get you the money that you deserve after you have worked and now you've disabled and you can't get money. And a lot of people don't know it. It's a very technical area. Well, over this period, since I've been back last couple of weeks, I've been talking to her, and she's indicated that in January, she's looking forward to being able to come aboard and to do Social Security disability denials or requests and veterans benefits. Listen, you worked hard. You deserve to be able to get what you are entitled to. And you need a lawyer that's going to be able to fight for you. So I'm so excited that she's coming on board and that he's coming on board as well. I'm just super, super, super excited. So we're back. Okay, Karen, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
And your question about the hamburger was what?
Oh, okay. I was saying, what is it that the Democrats aren't doing that's making our packages of hamburger $5, or that Facebook is laying off that many people? Is it something they're doing or not doing?
Let me say this to you. If the economy were better, my biggest problem, and many say, well, that's just maybe 3%. How are we able, Karen, to give foreign aid to other countries when our citizens do not have jobs, are underemployed, unemployed? How are we in a situation to say to other countries, well, we can give you, a couple $1 billion? How can we do that? I have a big concern about that. If all of a sudden I realized as a business owner that the problem that I had was not that I did not have demand, but I did not have supply, what am I going to do? I'm going to train individuals in that area of supply so that we can come up to par. Right now, with those little semiconductors, those little chips, we don't make them in the United States. Michigan needs to be on the cutting edge. We need to get together with industrial leaders and we need to say, we need these plants here. We need to get our citizens back making these plants so that we can be able to compete with Taiwan so that they don't hold us hostage, and we need to keep it going. Right now, Karen, if you wanted a vehicle, it is a 2-month wait. My car goes back in May. My salesperson, okay, Leela at Crest Ford, my girl, guess what she says? She said, you have to make a request in January. And why? Because of these small chips that we don't have that's slowing down production. That means that when we don't have those chips, that means that there's a layoff at Ford, Chrysler, GM. Okay, that means that now you have demand high, but supply is limited. But we want to do the same things that we done and expect a different result. Somebody told me that's called insanity. If you do the same things that you've always done and you're expecting a different result, that is called insanity. And that is what I believe. How I want to know from, many of the people in policy. I mean, from by how are we going to change this economy? Just tell me. Give me a plan. Obama came out with a plan. He had a 4-point plan. He talked about health care. He talked about being able to balance the budget. He came out with a plan when he was running. That's what he was pushing. No one else had that. I don't want to hear hate. I don't want to hear about, putting people down and calling people little Rubia. I don't want to hear all of that. I want to know, what are you going to do to get this country back on track so that we are able to produce and stop the inward bleed? Because we're bleeding internally, and we need to be able to stop that. And let me tell you something. If that person happened to be that Santa Claus standing behind me with a good enough program that what they're going to do, how they're going to implement it, and what they're going to do, they got my vote. I don't give a damn who it is.
Attorney, that some of those billions of dollars that they're spending elsewhere, that they could be helping us, maybe help us buy our meat. Is that kind of what you're saying too?
I would like to have seen done is the money that they had given away to help domestic other countries. Let's start little startup 6-week courses and how to make these little semiconductors, these little things that we're talking about that's slowing down this economy. Put that money back in there. Put that money back in there. You get what I'm saying? This is what we also exactly. One of the things that I talked about during 9-10's break that we talked about here was the fact that I am now offering services, at my firm, but they got to pay for them. It ain't no free. At my firm, that if people have a whole bunch of tickets, that we can bundle them up, we can do license restoration, etc. You got to be able to do some things yourself. But my point being to you is, we need to have businesses that are teaching this type of training so that we're not needy. Do you know right now, if Taiwan decided they would not trade or send those little conductors over here, we would be paralyzed. We are one of the greatest country in the world. How are we dependent on Taiwan, little bitty Taiwan, to do anything for us? But if tomorrow Taiwan said, we are not going to make these little conductor chips or whatever you call them, guess what? We would be at we would, they would bring us to our knees. No one should have to have dependence on a country like that. Only thing that you need to be dependent on people for is prayer. You should not need to depend on people. Right now, where would we be? Well, I'll tell you, if tomorrow Taiwan says we're not going to send them to the United States, I could not get my car until September, if maybe not even then. They would have the potential. Yeah. And why? Because it's cheaper to make something in Taiwan. The hell with cheap. What happens is that now it's dependence. Now what you've done is you now have a country that is dependent on Taiwan. And guess who is on the verge of taking over Taiwan? It's China. See?
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Thank you so much. Okay, very good. Okay, we got some more callers on, and I think that these might. Well, not now, I guess. We going to commercial? We've got Carl, Larry, and Stephen on, and we're going to take those calls. We'll be right back.
IRS.
So anyway, as I was saying, I'm super excited about this. You can't expect anyone to hire you if your license is not good. And many times, and this is a problem that I have with 36th District. If you got $1,000 worth of tickets, they potentially can request that you post a bond of $1,000. Well, hell, if I can't pay $1,000 worth of tickets, how am I going to be able to do that? Well, anyway, what we have been able to do is, I've been talking to them, and that was one of my concerns. How do we do that? And he was telling me that there is a way potentially that you can set these hearings and get them $1,000 worth of tickets down to something low like $300 or $400, and that he has have had the skill and the acumen to be able to do that. So I'm very, very excited about that. He's very youthful, dynamic, very trustworthy, and we need to get our license right. Now, you cannot expect somebody, if an opportunity does come forth where they do decide that they said we're not going to be testing for marijuana no more, and your license messed up. When that damn people can only look the other way so long. Now you got to get your license together, okay? Driving out here with no license. And another thing, I can't tell you the number of calls that I get, and I want to talk about this. People driving with no insurance. If you are seriously injured in a car accident and or killed, dead, and you have no insurance, you cannot collect. You minimally have to have no fault. No fault is $150 a month, okay? If you have no fault and you don't have full coverage, then you can at least petition the catastrophic law, the state to be able to assist you. Okay. And there is, I believe, a $250,000 death benefit, but you cannot operate a vehicle with no insurance. You have to have at least no fault. What is no fault? No fault is just so you can drive your car. If you get in a car accident, they will not fix it. But if you don't have any insurance, zero, and the other person caused it, you still don't get anything. Why? Because the law says that you cannot operate a vehicle without insurance. So therefore, you're committing a crime. You cannot drive a car without insurance. So the fact of the matter, but if you at least have no fault, then at least you'll be able to recover and you can potentially sue if in fact that you are injured or someone dies as a result of that car accident. So make sure that you all at least get no fault. Somebody said, what you want for your birthday? You want Pandora? No, I want some no fault insurance. It's $150 a month. Get no fault. And when we come back, I want to talk to you how insurance companies are denying claims, valid claims, for people that do have insurance. And I'm gonna talk to you about that when we come back. I want to take these callers. And we're back. And we've got another caller. Who we got on the line? Carl. Hey, Carl.
Yes, thank you, my sister. Thank you. I hear what you're saying, but you know the chips. Yeah, that is shit that over for slave labor anyway. But here, our government just passed, both parties, Democrat and Republican, signed on for this. The $250 billion chip deal. You know what that deal is? For Intel and all these corporations, they are $1 trillion corporations. They can make these machines are very expensive to make these chips. They can do this themselves. But guess what? They're getting a handout from the government. All they got to do is fill out the right application. They're going to get that money. $260 billion. Now, the student loans. So this is what gets me. This is just me. I vote Democrat. I'm not a Democrat. I vote that because I like the policies. They're not all that. Neither is the Republican. I know both parties are shady. I can say a lot more. But anyway, the student loan, the Republicans are blocking that. And so about 5 or 6 states. Now, you just passed $250 billion, our country, for corporations. Here we go again. But to help people, these loans, the 10,000 and the 20,000, that is across the board.
But let me say this to you. I agree. I agree they're not foolproof, and I do agree that people do need that. But at the same time, that's very important. And that loan forgiveness, I do believe that the Supreme Court is going to overrule it because no one has standing. Standing means that you have to be a party that has been hurt by the loan forgiveness. There have been 2 requests to go before the Supreme Court. No one has standing. How am I hurt by loan forgiveness? Nobody can show that. So that's just a part of the Republican grandstanding. I agree with that. But when you, Carl, may I finish? When you are in a dire situation, say for instance, you are in a airplane crash, okay, and you hit the water, you might got to decide whether or not you're going to amputate your own leg or your foot to live so that the rest of your body can live. There are going to have to be some concessions. Now, because there is no standing to show that you've been aggrieved, this is just some politricking. Not politricking, just flexing on their behalf. My point being to you, we mess around and say we're going to do loan forgiveness, which I am definitely a proponent of. But at the end of the day, if we're in a recession, everybody going to suffer. It ain't just the people who need loan forgiveness. Everybody is suffering. You got 11,000 people from one company that got laid off. You got almost half the amount at Twitter. And then I want to say a mortgage banking company that laid off 90% of their mortgage bankers, which the name escapes me, Wells Fargo. Baby, we suffering out here. And we need somebody to have something that's going to help all of America. But I'm with the loan forgiveness. But at the end of the day, if hypothetically we have to lose that, which we won't because you don't have nobody that got standing to say that they agreed, that's not even going to happen. But hypothetically, if it was, and then on the other hand, we got somebody that's going to be able to help the recession, we need some help. When you are sinking, when you sinking, you ain't saying, "Oh, I want a pink." You don't have no pink life jacket, baby. I'll take anything you got. We are sinking, and no one is coming up with a plan right now, Republican or Democrat, that is going to show us how able-bodied Americans are going to stop this internal bleed. Hell, if it's libertarian, I'll vote for them. Hell, if it's the Christmas, I don't know, whatever. We got to figure this out.
Okay, now they can do his team. We had to build that better plan. Because the Democrats, none of the Republicans voted on it. This was for community college. If you got a degree or GED, this was 2-year free community college. They knocked that out the deal. Not only that, since the stimulus check, there's no such thing as U.S. debt. We're supposed to be almost $30 trillion in debt. Nobody pays that off. No country pays that off. Period. They get corporations from the farmers to everybody get whatever they want. Just like Wall Street shot up 1,000 points the other day. These corporations are made sure be bank. Okay? The little crumbs that they throw the public out here. This measly, this is nothing right here. Our country is powerful and strong. So, when they say debt, you gotta understand, I understand, we don't have no gold standard. Anytime the Wall Street falls tomorrow, come sundown, they will be able to get trillions of dollars out of our government. And like you said, people need help, yeah. Corporations' prices going to go up and down whether you like it or not. And another prices fluctuate over the gas. The gas corporation prices through the roof. If gas went up $7, $8 a gallon, so be it. They do whatever they want. There's nothing our government can do about it. There's the corporations that run a lot of the show. Okay? So, but anyway, like I said, I prefer the policy. If we had to, just like George Ford Policing Act, the John Lewis voting rights, all of the Republicans voted no. Down there in Florida, DeSantis. Here's the thing about this. The right and the Hispanics and the sisters down there that got out of jail, out of prison, out of penitentiary, did their parole probation to not vote. The state passed the test.
But those are the states, and let me say, right,
but I put these people on, because 1.5 million of them are eligible voters. They know they won't vote for it. They know they will lose the election. But our government, since we stimulus check, do certain things for us, can it boost our economy and a whole lot of other things. They just sit on that bill back. I mean, not the bill back. The other state of Michigan is sitting on almost $7 billion. And a lot of that came from the federal government. Out of that last COVID Act, all these states are sitting on banks. Like California is sitting on $60 billion. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Guess who's waiting in the wings? Corporations to cipher that money off. City of Detroit got $800 million. Where is that? You know what $1 billion to do to the neighborhood? Guess who's waiting in the wings? Corporations to cipher that money off. You see? So if we can get what we can out our government from our taxpayers, Ukraine, they want to rebuild Ukraine. They infrastructure, Flint want to be hanging loose. They still ain't got things all across our great nation. All kinds of, but what I'm saying is this, my sister, our government can do a whole lot more than what they can do. There's no such thing as you and that. I don't buy it whatsoever. Our budget is only 3 trillion.
3 trillion.
Social Security get it, Medicaid get it. The military gets $800 billion and it grows up every year. And our budget for people in the country sinks. 500 billion goes lower and lower every year. It's just the numbers. It's very simple. So I don't buy that. But they can't do student loans and all this. What they can't. There's no way in the world somebody get out of Persian, class, or whatever school. They should be able to get a high school, go to a community college, get a trade. From plumbing to nursing, whatever. They shouldn't have to pay that going debt. It doesn't make no sense. Our country's rolled like that. Why can't we? They want our people in debt. It makes no sense, my sister. Thank you for taking my call. And you got a lot of points. Love you, show.
Love you, Sue. You know what? Let me just say this to you about Carl, what I love. Here is an informed man. He's basically saying neither party is doing anything for the everyday American. We need to have people, a party to step up that is for the people. Now, I see it. I would consider Republican. But as I've indicated, if the libertarians come up with something good, baby, I'm going to go libertarian. I can no longer vote for a party that I believe does not have the best interests of the American people, especially people of color. I just don't see it. Right now, I don't see it. Okay, I want to see and I want to hear, what programs do you plan to implement that is going to pull this country out of recession? Obama did. Obama had economics working with him at the time he was running. He had a plan. I don't want to hear no rhetoric. I don't want to hear calling nobody out their name. I don't want to hear somebody promising social programs. I want to know, how do we get good people, good Americans back to work? I agree with Carl. There are always going to be drawbacks. Obviously, you know what I'm saying? And one of the major drawbacks is that most Republicans believe in a federalist system. What is a federalist system? Let the states enact laws the way that they want. That is what we're seeing with the Supreme Court. With Roe v. Wade, there was federal protection. What they're now saying, and what the Supreme Court is gearing toward, is saying that if Michigan wants to protect women's rights, they can do it. But if South Carolina doesn't, they're not obligated. When you had Roe v. Wade, every state was under a mandate federally that they had to provide these assistance to different people in different states, because the federal is like the umbrella, okay? And the state is individual parts. So what it is now, the Supreme Court is now going to a federalist system. And what does that federalist system say? Whatever states want to do, let them. But don't infringe upon your decision making. And so what we do is we see that Michigan has more protection in certain areas than, say, Florida or Mississippi. But what the Supreme Court is doing is dismantling federal protection. That is, that every state has to afford their citizenry a certain right or a certain privilege. And that is what they're dismantling. They're not getting rid of it. They're now saying it's a state issue. So if you want to have what you want to have in Mississippi, that's fine. But Michigan don't have to have it. And so as a result, that's where they're going. Okay. And so that's where you see the challenges is that we no longer want federal protection. That is, Mississippi, if Mississippians don't want to, and many of them have voted, to say, we want the ban for birth, for the right to life. We want that. And so by dismantling Roe v. Wade, it said that Mississippi, you choose what you want. Florida, you choose what you want. Michigan. It's called the Federalist system. Okay. And so that is what the Supreme Court is trying to dismantle, many federal protections that were afforded to people. I just lost the station. That were afforded to people. They'll call back. That were afforded to people under that administration. So that's what that's about. See, I just had to, when I changed up a little bit, I had to get everything going right. And I agree, there's nothing that is going to be foolproof. Okay. So if I say, well, I'm a jump Republican, they're gonna figure everything out. You got to take the good with the bad. I mean, that's just how it is. But what I am saying is I'm sick of people always thinking that, are we back on?
We are back. You got 30 seconds until we break.
Oh, okay. Well, we ain't got enough time to take another caller. So listen, we got a couple callers going. And let me tell you about these callers. Most of them going to be Republican. And we'll back.
I'm turning to the church.
So anyway, we need to be about our business. And the only way we're going to be about our business is that we need to take control. And I know a lot of y'all out there talking about something. I want me some Louboutins. Get your license right. Do you know that every time your license is suspended, that legally speaking, you can get a suspension where you can't get your license no more? If you can't get your license, how are you going to be able to get a good job potentially if these jobs start opening up? You need to be able to get back on your feet. And that's what we have. But let me tell you about this. Listen, before we went to the break, you wanted to know, I wanted to tell you, how are insurance companies denying claims of people who pay their insurance? In Michigan, with the auto insurance reform, you have to live in where the insurance is made out to. Okay. So if my daughter lives with me and I live in Oakland County, I live in Southfield, and my daughter then gets a place in Detroit, but I'm going to leave it on mama's insurance because it's so low. And I pay the insurance every month. And she gets into a car accident in Detroit. The first thing that they're going to ask you, do you live in Southfield? Second thing that they're going to ask you is, let me see your cell phone bill. What? Your cell phone bill shows from the towers where you were located. If your cell phone bill say you was in Detroit, 30 days a week or 30 days a month, and that you went in Southfield, they can deny your claim because they can say that that is fraud. You have to report to your insurance company when you move. So if you have insurance in someone else's name, or or you're on the policy in a city that you do not live, that's the basis to deny. You have up to 30 days maximum to report your new address to your insurance company. How do they determine it? Where the car is housed. What does that mean? Where you at every night? If you in Detroit, that car better be in Detroit. They're going to say it's in Detroit. Then they're going to look at a little black box to see where it is on your car. If it's not right, you can be charged. So make sure that if you do have insurance, that you have that insurance properly. Before I take this call, I wanted to jump on to say this to people. One of the ways that many insurance companies are denying claims is that if my daughter lives with me in Southfield and she then moves to Detroit, and she's been living in Detroit for, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, and she doesn't let the insurance company know she moved, and she has an accident, the first thing that they're going to ask is, do you live in Southfield? This is a recording. So by it being recorded, it can be used against you because everything you talk to on an insurance company is recorded. They say, yeah, where do you live? 13564 Break Party Lane. Okay. We like to see your phone records. You have a cell phone? Yeah. If those cell phone records put you at a location different than that address, they can deny your claim. Why? The law says that you have up to 30 days to inform your insurance company of where your car is housed. Not where you live, where your car is housed. So I had a woman, oh, and it hurt me so badly. Oh my, she had a daughter that went to Michigan State University. She told them the daughter was on her insurance, but they failed to tell them that the insurance would be that the car was going to be housed in East Lansing. As a result, she got into an accident. They said, where do you live? She said, Southfield. They said, well, where did the accident occur? In Lansing. Well, why was it in Lansing? My daughter's in school. I told you that. Did you get a policy stating that the car would be housed in Lansing? No. But I just told y'all. That was the basis to deny the claim. The woman had to pay $30,000 for the leased vehicle out of her pocket. Why? They don't ask you they say, where's the car housed? So if you have children that are going away to school in East Lansing, Michigan, East Lansing, Ann Arbor, get them a separate policy, or for that policy, indicate to your insurance company that the car will be housed in somewhere different. And then that way it will be a policy in their name where it's going to be, and then the car is covered. But if that car is involved in an accident anywhere in this state, and they look at them phone records and they say, well, wait a minute, you were in East Lansing for 30 days. Well, I know I come back home. I really live here. They don't say where you live. They say where the car is housed, HOUSED. That means where the car is kept. So if your car is being kept in Ann Arbor and your mom lives in Southfield, it's not being housed there. As a result, when my daughter went away to school, I had to get her a separate policy for the state that she's in, because I could not put it on my insurance because my insurance was going to be for Michigan. So I opted out to get her an insurance policy for the car in the state that she was going to be in, so that if she has an accident, they'll pay it and I won't be responsible. Remember, insurance companies are in the business to do one thing: keep your money. That's it. And any loophole that they can find. If you drive a car and you have an emergency situation and you drive with no insurance and you are injured or killed, you get no money, even if it wasn't your fault. Why? We have no fault. And so no fault says that I look to my insurance. My insurance is zero. So therefore, I don't recover. But if you at least have no fault insurance, not collision, then it will enable you to, if you are seriously injured or killed, to be able to collect money. But you have to have skin in the game, i.e. you have to have insurance. And so many times I get people say, well, my insurance lapsed. It doesn't matter. If you drive in a car with no insurance and it's the other person's fault, you get zero because it's no fault, okay? If you are insured, okay, your car is injured under no fault, you get nothing. But if you have a bodily injury, you can collect. And now you see the snow is coming down, it's going to be very serious. So when somebody say, you want some lubricants? No, I want some insurance. And then where do I want my insurance? I want to be housed wherever you're housed at. It's all of that. Well, I live, I use my auntie address. Oh, they all on that. And don't lie and say that you don't have a cell phone. And they find out, oh, baby, they're going to ask the prosecutor to charge you with insurance fraud. So please be aware of what they do. If you have been seriously injured in an auto accident, you have insurance, give me a call at 1-833-866-3252. But you have to have insurance. Okay, I hope that they help somebody. Okay, we got another caller. Who is that? Larry?
This is Larry.
All right. Hey, Larry.
Hello, Vonda.
How are you?
Anyway, I wanted to touch on a few things that we were talking about.
Yes, sir.
So with this election thing, interestingly enough, although I probably have made fair claim that I vote Republican, I do in many cases, but what I did differently in this election because of some of the things I felt, and I ended up voting Libertarian on several issues. And the interesting thing is, and this is obviously a coincidence, do you know why there's a runoff in Georgia between Warnock and Herschel Walker?
Because there was a large majority of the votes of that. I say the large majority of the votes, which could have gone to either one of them, went to the Libertarian candidate.
Exactly. So that's got to tell you that this Libertarian did enough so neither one could get the majority. And I saw an interesting interview with him after that all came out, and he has a different take on how elections should be done. It's almost like they feel like there should be two choices: the candidate, and if you don't, then the second choice would be Libertarian. I mean, I don't know exactly how that would end up working.
How many votes did he ended up getting? Over 100,000?
I'm sorry?
How many votes did he end up getting? Over 100,000?
I'm not positive. They did say, I saw it like, I saw this on Wednesday, and the guy seemed to be a pretty sharp guy. And what really I'm just very, very concerned about is, as of yesterday, and I don't know if they've come to any conclusion with the Nevada Senate race. I know the Republican was slightly ahead, but I don't know if they've come up, if they've declared a winner yet. But what I'm concerned about is that it could end up being a tie.
which would obviously favor the Democrats because Vice President Harris would cast a deciding vote on any issue where it was strictly on party lines.
Right.
But on a different subject, this is my take on what you're talking about, this economy. So as an investor myself, and I'm watching it day in and day out, do not, and I mean, I would emphasize this to anybody, do not take a lot of stock, and I excuse the pun, from this 1,200 point performance on Thursday in the stock market.
Definitely.
This was not a long-term indication. This was strictly on the CPI, which is Consumer Price Index, for the last month. So we're in a horrible inflation cycle. So because it went down a notch, everybody jumped on and started buying stocks and everything. And the bond yields went down, and the bond yields are tied to the mortgage rates. So now, just for this short period of time, so the mortgage rates went down from 7% to maybe 6 point whatever. Nothing appreciable. It's not enough to even talk about, well, I'm going to go out and buy a house because I can get a 6.7 30-year mortgage as opposed to a 7. So what I'm getting at is this. In my opinion, we are in the midst of a recession.
Yes.
And if we're not in it right now, it is very, very, it's inevitable. It's inevitable. And it's, been inevitable. It's because of, it's called the way the bonds are running. So a 10-year bond is less than a 2-year bond. So it's like an inverted curve. And by virtue of that, these pundits know when these things when everything is doing what it's doing, it's usually indicative of a recession.
Okay.
How long it'll be, no one knows for sure. But my thing is this, everything in our government is being done totally backwards. You talk about, well, we have to have chips. Why do we have to go to Taiwan to get something that we can or should do?
Exactly. And we'll be back. Thank you so much for calling, Larry. Hold on, we'll be back.
You want to see it free, now you want to see it free.